When there's lightning.
I need a taste of paradise, so won't you come with me? everybody. I'm done. The little solo. And just think about it 2 hours ago, I was so tired. I thought, how am I going to play? You know? And the reason why I'm tired is because my brother Frank, who lives around the corner, let me raise this up. Sometimes people go, we can't hear you. One time I had it panned all the way to the wrong side because I switched mic inputs. So my brother Frank, you know, he's a member of, he lives around the corner, is my older brother. And then Carmine's younger than him, then my sister Terry, then me. And he wanted me to speak at his Rotary meeting at 7 in the morning. I went, shit. So usually, you know, when I get up that early, 6, quarter to 6, 5:30, we go to the airport. Me and Lala. Lala does our merch for Last in Line. And we go to the airport. We use San Diego Airport. So sometimes we leave at 4:15, 4:30 if there's a 6 a.m. flight, 6:30 flight. So this was like, I wanted to stay up last night and watch some stuff on Netflix we were watching. But, better go to bed. You'd be tired. So I was really tired. So I'm able to, which is good if you're a musician and you're on the road or you're busy, you can go anywhere and sleep for 20 minutes. And I can do that. So, but the trick is not to sleep too much. Because when you sleep too much, you got to wake up again. And that's harder than, going to sleep. So I laid down. I slept for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And I thought I'd make some coffee. Then I came in here, practice a little bit. Now I'm awake. The music kicks my ass. And then knowing I'm playing for you guys kicks my butt again. And so I'm awake. I thought I was going to die today. So between that and then I'm over here trying to get the sound check. This takes a while to get the sound going here, Hope it sounds good. I started off with the bass drum with no head on the front because I was recording a song that we're going to do. Carmine and I want to do another album together. We have only done one album together, and that was in 2016. So we want to do another one, so we're doing a couple of songs to play for people and blah, 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 the usual. And I took the drum, I don't know, it just didn't sound the way I wanted to with the two heads on. So I took the head off, and it sounded great. And I recorded the song and made sure there were no comments. And then today I had to re-input all the mics, and then I tried the bass drum. I didn't like it. So now I put the front head back on, and it's got a little bit more sustain to it. So the bass drum head's on the front. I got a mic inside, and then I got a woofer, which is a speaker. You can't see it on the video, but there's a speaker, an 8-inch speaker I took out of one of the studio monitors I had, and just hung it up. And I know what that is. There we go. And that's wired as a speaker. It's giving that low end, a little bit more low end. The bass drum itself sounds great. And so that's what's going on here. These drums, real quick, are Sawtooth drums, and they are the ones behind presenting this show every week. And they're just fantastic company. Joe Fuco, who owns the place, he's so passionate about drums. He's a drummer too. He's played. For Joe. And these drums are the new set that they finally got in with all this stuff going on with the supply chain. And these are hickory drums, right? It's a beautiful finish. It's like a chocolatey velvet, cream on the inside, purplish finish. I love these drums. And so they're 6-ply hickory, and these are more of the high-end drums from Sawtooth. And they have stainless steel hoops and stainless steel lugs and die-cast hoops, and it's pure hickory. There's no filler, except for that rich, creamy center. I'm thinking of something else. So anyway, so these are great sounding drums. This is a 10, 12, 13, 14, 16, and the big guy, 18. You know, when I use a big kit to record, even in this room here, I won't use the 10. I don't think I have enough inputs anyway. But when I use these drums, I play fills that are all crazy, like. Things like that, because the drums are panned to different sides, you know. This drum's in the middle, and the 13's to the left, middle, to the right, and all the way to the right. I do it so I was told a long time ago by Angelo Arcuri, who recorded all the Dio records, that when you mix and you record, you do it from the audience perspective. So when I do a fill, it's going right to left. This would be, even though I went left to right here, you know. So some guys do the drummer perspective. I do it the other way, but I play all these crazy fills, so the stereo effect of all the panning sounds great. Like in the headphones and stuff, you're doing a fill, and it's going, you know, it's all over the place. So little tricks. The fills are easy. You know, you can get a little more crazy on them, but that's just a little trick. And so these are great drums. I love these drums. The bass drums are 24 by 14. The heads are G2s all around. And the bass drum actually has no muffling except for one of the rings that are on the Evans heads. It comes with the EQ3. It's a little ring. I don't like very much muffling. Snare drum. This is a 6-inch by 6.5 by 14. And this is also hickory. Great sounding kit. And I just came back from Vegas, so we finally finished my parts on the new Last in Line album. And we did it at a studio, what's the name of it? River Moon? I don't know exactly what the name is, but it's owned by Danny Korka from Counting Cars. And he's such a great guy. He's a singer as well, a musician. And he lets us rehearse there, and this time we used the recording part of it as well. We got a great drum sound. Chris Collier, who works with Korn a lot and did our mixing on all our albums, did the engineering. And came out great, you know. So now Viv's got to do guitars. We don't know when. He's in England with Def Leppard. So when he comes back, he's going to start doing guitars. Andy's going to do vocals. And so my drums are done. And there's a good question on somebody asked there. He goes, how do you memorize songs, right? Well, I'll answer that. You just listen to them, you know, and try to get inspired by them. And I've been lucky all my career that all the stuff I've been recording and played and been in bands that were inspiring, like Sabbath and Dio and Last in Line, Heaven and Hell. And I didn't, you know, if I did it, sometimes I'll do sessions here and stuff, and sometimes the songs are not very inspiring, so it's like, oh, man. You know, and it's hard to get inspired and stuff. So the best way to learn the song is to listen to it, play along. This way, when you get to the next part, you're in a verse, you know the chorus is coming up. The chorus is, and you're confident into going into the chorus because you know the song. Now, what happened in Vegas is we were putting the last couple of songs, we wanted to get as much as possible recorded while we were together in one room, because Last in Line is a scheduling nightmare. Everybody's got things going on, and especially Viv with Def Leppard that's starting up again, you know. And so at one point, Andy got a big piece of cardboard and wrote out verse, chorus, all this stuff. Chorus, middle eight, bridge, and we just put it in front of us. It's playing it like chorus. Which helped get it finished, and as we played it a bunch of times. So finally, I got to feel confident in playing a song. You know, I don't like having to read something like that. It's a guide, but I don't like to sit there and go. Sometimes I write it out, and it's on a notebook, and it's on the floor, and I'll look. I'm playing, and I go, where the F am I? What is that? I don't even understand my writing. So best thing is to play the song and try to just, you know, practice it. This way, you're very confident in the next part, you know, because then you don't have to think about it. You go into the chorus. You just, like for me, I get inspired to do some crazy fills. Whatever comes out, that's the way I play. That's the way I play with Dio, Sabbath, you know, whatever I felt and heard came out. That's the way I did it. I never really, I worked some things out, but a lot of them are on spur of the moment, you know. So that first song I played was called Orange Glow. That was by Last in Line. The cool thing with that is it's got this double hi-hat, 16th note. And a lot of guys I know, because I gave lessons here and there along the years, don't practice this double hi-hat thing, playing like that. So it's a good idea to get into the double hi-hat. For various bass drums. Then get into opening the hi-hat a little bit, you know. A lot of things you could do with the hi-hat. One of my favorite things, this is simple. One E and a 2. One E and a 2. One E and a 2. And the bass drums with the right hand. Right? Practice this. Right? That's the same thing fast. You can get those 16, they become 30-second notes. You can get, instead of just hitting one, you're going, it's a fancy one. Right? Bunch of them in a row. Do it on the cymbals too. Gives us some flash. People listen to it. People in the audience go, "That guy knows what he's doing." Sometimes. So again, 1 E and a 2. So. Slow. It's kind of like doing this. Just 1 E and a 2. And the bass drum's on 2 as well. Then what I like to do is mix it up with a foot thing, which is not the triplets. This is 16th notes. Say like that. Now, I've been doing this for years, so that's why I got a fast foot, and I never use double pedals. So you got to practice slow and get the speed later on, get it nice and steady. To see hear how you could hear how steady this is. So that's like this. So I'm going right, left, right, left. When you put the two of them together. Reason why I missed that, I must be honest, because when I added these drums, I moved the cymbal back. Otherwise, I can't get into this drum. So I'm so used to the cymbal being here that I'll go. Oh. So anyway, it's the first one, 1 E and a 2, and then 1 and a 2. Same thing. And that sounds really fast, but that's actually easier to do than the regular, like, let's call them the John Bonham triplets. So like I said, when you practice these things, you gotta play steady. It's the most important things. Even the fills. Steady. So with that song Orange Glow, it's a good song. It's like this. It's a good song to practice a bunch of licks. Good tempo. That's what I do with songs. If I'm playing to a song, even when I was a kid, I didn't play the song exactly. You could play the song exactly, it's good, but then start being creative with it, you know? If you just learn that lick, try it in that song. The song becomes a metronome, basically, is what happens. So. Anyway, we have La La Lollipop.
Hello.
Hi, La La. How are you?
Good.
Lala's tired, too.
I know. Got up too early.
Yeah. The Rotary thing was pretty cool. I gave them the web address, so maybe they're watching. So hello, everybody from the Rotary. And they gave us a free breakfast.
Yum. It was good.
This was at the Pechanga Casino. I don't live far from the Pechanga Casino, and they have a lovely restaurant. A beautiful golf course out the window, and very good breakfast. So we only got sick once. No, I'm kidding.
No.
So anyway, we're back and alive, but we're tired. We're not going out to eat tonight.
No, I'm gonna cook at home.
We're gonna took something out of the freezer. Some of the stuff in the freezer was like unidentified.
We have to get rid of it.
I was like, what is this?
What the heck is it?
And, so they started writing what it is. We got to get rid of some of that shit. So, and also I want to talk about, these likely scam message. The phone rings. I go, oh, while I'm playing, getting the sound check, I go, who's that? And I could see it from the desk. Scam likely. Like, they don't stop with these people, It's like scam. What I should do is answer it and go, blow their ears out. Yeah. Okay, so let's take some questions.
The song you played, "The Sky Is Falling," who is that by?
That's Last in Line. That's called Orange Glow. And those lyrics are the chorus, which I'm doubling up. The verses are this. And then the choruses are. Just doubling up on the snares, like 4 on the floor, not 4 on the floor, but 4 on the snare. And that's on the first Last in Line album. And the reason why I'm playing all these obscure songs is because I can't play Dio, I can't play Sabbath, can't play Heaven and Hell, even Kill Devil Hill. When I play it, I get a warning saying, well, your copyright thing and this is song, audio has been muted in 21 countries. It's like, where? I check it here. I don't hear it muted. Maybe, I don't know, Honduras or something. I don't know. These places where you watch To Catch a Smuggler. These stupid little places. They're not stupid, but the little places. I'm on those songs, so they mute me. And it's like, what a drag. I wanted to play Sign of the Southern Cross because that by Sabbath on the Mob Rules album that gets talked about a lot. I get a lot of, today, somebody who's asking me, man, I love that song, and that's the big, heavy. One of those, with Iommi's guitar and heavy riff with Geezer underneath him and Ronnie kicking it on the top, So I'd squeeze them in once in a while and see what happens. But write to your cable channel and tell them you want Vinny to play songs he's on. That'd be better. Okay, next question.
What is a comparison of the best snacks to keep behind the drum kit?
The best what?
Snacks.
The best snack to keep behind the drum kit? Man, I don't really do that. But I have what's called, and this is when you go on the road, the emergency sandwich. Like with Last in Line, we travel, and then we'll stop. We're in a Sprinter van because we're not going thousands of miles. The most we do is 400 miles. And we'll stop somewhere, and I'll go, whatever it is, Jimmy John or on the Subway, I'll go get a sandwich, foot long, eat some of it now, and then wrap it up for later because I got to have food. Drummers got to have food because all the energy that's burnt here. And make more money than everybody else in the band. So don't forget that. And get all the girls, all the chicks. So I have the emergency sandwich. So now, when we did the rehearsals in Vegas, I said, I'm going to go get a sandwich. We went to Sprouts and make it sandwich made. So Vivian goes, hey, you going to get the emergency sandwich? I'll have one too. And then Phil got an emergency sandwich, and Andy was on a diet, so he didn't get an emergency sandwich. But, yeah. But I don't snack. I couldn't. I don't know. There's a thing about eating, and then it's right here, and then you got to play. So, but I would say, maybe pretzels or something. See, I got to watch the sugar, so I can't say M&Ms, even though Lala eats M&Ms.
Oh, yeah, got to have M&Ms.
M&Ms. And also, Andy Freeman's going to be on the Hangin' and Bangin' show Thursday night with Carmine and myself, 4 o'clock Pacific time. Hangin' and Bangin'. And we're going to have Andy Freeman on, my good friend and great, great singer. And he's obviously singing for Last in Line, and he does some work with George Lynch. So check it out, 4 p.m. this Thursday. It's going to be cool. Okay, next question.
Somebody commented Geezer was at the Rams football game on Sunday.
And he didn't call me? He was at the Rams football?
what
I didn't
somebody said
think he
that.
likes football.
I don't know.
He likes the other football, which we call soccer, and they call football. Oh, cool. I love Giza. So that's good. That's cool. I'm surprised they didn't show him on the camera. So I don't even watch that. You know, I'm not a big sports guy. When I grew up, I had music, I had drums. So I wasn't into baseballs and football and all this stuff. But I would watch the Super Bowl. I would watch the World Series. I just wait to the end and watch the best, choice thing of the whole season. But that was about it. Okay, next question.
What are your cymbal sizes?
Cymbal sizes. These are Sabian AA. They're all Sabians. AA are fairly heavy. And this is a 20, right? 18. This is AA and then mediums. Everything's medium. This is a medium ride. See again. And let me tell you, these cymbals, I've had these cymbals for over a year and a half playing with Last in Line. We play loud, and I can hear these cymbals over the whole band. When I hit an accent, I could hear it. And these things, they don't even look like they played very much. It's a great, always a great company, Sabian. And I was actually one of the Frankie Benelli back in the 80s had a deal with Sabian, and I saw an ad. I went, what's this company? Sabian Cymbals. Who's that? And I heard it was Andy Zildjian that started the company. Sabian stands for Sally, Annie, and I think Bill were the kids' names, all the kids in the family. And I got in touch with them. They came down, brought some cymbals. I love them. So then I was with them since the 80s. And along the way, dropped off, used Istanbul Istanbul cymbals. And then Carmine and I went back to Sabian about 4 or 5 years ago. They're great cymbals. I wanted to show you that, actually. The thing I was doing in that second song. The second song was the Resurrection Kings. And it's not a very good mix. But drums are too low. But that's on the album that came out about 4 months ago. And what I was doing was going. It's one and a two. It's like a rough triplet. One and a two. That's a rough triplet. Rough triplets. So I start with the right. Right, one and a two on the bass drum, so you can. So being that the lick ends on the bass drum, your right hand's free to start it again as soon as the bass drum hits, like this. See? Say them fast. And it's cool. You can even do when you're playing a beat on the cymbal. Fast. So that's it. That's what that is. So all this stuff sounds, complicated when it's fast, but when you slow it down. See, I got right hand's free. Keep the beat going. So cool little trick. It's kind of like this. Okay, another question?
What are the heads on the toms?
The heads on the toms are G2s, Evans G2s. I like doing that. G2s on the bottom, they're G2s. And I just tune them. Bottom heads are tuned kind of more on the lower side, but they're not rattling, anything like that. And then I tune these drums so there's a good spread. These two are a little bit close together. I would bring these two guys up a little bit more. Let's see. That's what I want it to sound like. Usually I use the 4 drums. Da, 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 exclamation point, you know. It's got to say something, you know. You don't want them to be like, that doesn't sound good. So that's what I do. These are G2s, and these are just great sounding drums. The shells are amazing. The hickory and records great too. It's fantastic drums. And all the hardware, I should say, is all Chromacast. Chromacast is kind of the same company. And these cymbal stands have one, you can see it over there, one lever. And that can go in and out. Hey, let's not get dirty here, but it goes in and out and it twists. Anybody just tuning in thinks I'm talking about sex. In and out and twist. Okay, sorry about that. And it's all one thing, so you just loosen it and you can get your adjustment real quick. So this Chromacast and Sawtooth and the sticks, these are actually Chromacast 5B. And I noticed that I pulled these sticks out of the brick. And these are the very rare Vinny sticks. Got my name on it. Took a while to get those, too, because they come from overseas, let's say. And but see, I play with the butt end, so I destroy them. Okay, let's take one more question.
Do you know the price on the bass pedal by chance? No?
Oh, the bass drum pedal, actually, that's a Chromacast pedal. And let me show you this pedal. Hang on. Let's get it going here. This is a fantastic, fast pedal. Okay, that's the Chromacast pedal. It says Chromacast right there. And this is the way I got it set up. Usually this board's up maybe a little bit more. And the reason for the board being up, so you have a good stroke for power and volume and stuff, right? And then you notice that the lock nut is on the screw, which tensions the spring. It's a heavy-duty spring, and this gives you more speed. If this thing's really loose, you hit it, it doesn't come back very fast. Look at the energy in this thing. It just keeps going when you press it. Look. So you could use that energy that's in the pedal already to get fast with your foot. But the spring has to be tight. So the spring is tight. And then I bottom out the beater. So it's bottomed out. So the height of the beater, like there. And I like the felt part. I used the plastic once before for a while, and I would heat up the drum head, and it would start to melt. I don't know. Playing too hard? I have no idea. But I like the felt. I like the sound better. This is a bit on the click side for the way I play and my style of playing. Other guys like that. They turn it around. So that's the, I usually put the mallet right in the middle of the drum. This is a 24 by 14. And if it's a 22, I'll lower this down so it hits in the middle. So you could see, you know, it's kind of optimized for power, you know. And that's a good explanation. Look at this thing. It's just hitting 3 or 4 times after I press on it. So I get the rebound, and I'm ready to kick it again, you know. And that's the way you get a fast foot. That and the bass drum itself, the head, it's kind of a little bit out of tune. The head's more on the low, tight side, I'd say. This way, when this pedal hits, it hits the head, and the head's got some response. Boom, pushes it back. And there's no pillow in this thing, you know? There's no pillow. So when I hit it, it pushes the pedal back. The skin's actually rebounding. And when you put a pillow in it, you're getting a dead sound. And it's for me, it's harder to get all this fast footwork out, you know? And if you're wondering about that kind of stuff, experiment. I always tell everybody that any instrument, experiment with the instrument. So try it with the pillow in if you want that sound. Take the pillow out, and maybe you need some tape for muffling, very, very little, and tighten the head, tighten experiment with the foot pedal, and that's the way you figure out what works for you, you know. Let's take one more question.
One more question. Okay, let's see. What's your favorite rudiment?
Rough triplet. 1 and a 2. You could do it this way. Oh. And then I put the rough triplet within a pattern. I actually listened to Billy Cobham when I was a young lad, and I heard him on the Spectrum album, the Mahavishnu Orchestra. If you haven't heard those albums, especially Mahavishnu Orchestra, check them out. Billy's is phenomenal. And I heard these fills. I never heard fills like Dave do. What is that? Then I figured out that they're rough triplets, just about. I could be a little bit off on them, but that's the way I develop them. Okay. So I love rough triplets, and I like paradiddles. They're actually different sticking kind of things after the paradiddle. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go take a nap. And I want to thank everybody for joining me. I really love doing this. I love you guys. I love everybody listening to this stuff and all the music. You know, I've been really blessed to be able to play music all my life. And all that stuff. I keep getting things from ARP, so I know I'm getting older, you know. But I'm still playing, and this keeps me in shape. Really good practice. You know, makes me practice. I got to do this every Tuesday. I don't want to be a schlep up here. I want to, you know, play as best I can. And Sawtooth and ChromaCast has allowed me to do this every Tuesday at 4 p.m. And I love it, you know. This is only supposed to be temporary, and we're going on about a year and a half now, so it's really cool. Sometimes I miss it because I'm on the road. But I'll be here next week. Sound like the TV commercial. So join me, and if you don't know when it is, look up in the TV guide, and I'm there, 4 p.m. on this Facebook official Vinny page, and every Tuesday. So thank you guys. Be safe, and happy drumming, and happy everything. Okay, see you guys. was something I did in the 80s. The Chinese symbols, you know. China type.